We are in a place quite unusual for Łódź, yet very characteristic and recognizable. This neo-Romanesque building from 1875, now occupied by the Medical University, originally served as the shelter for old people and cripples of the Łódź Christian Charity Society. The author of the project was most probably Otto Gehlig, a German architect with many significant projects in Łódź to his credit. In 1939, the building was taken over by the occupying authorities, and after the war it was handed over to the University of Łódź for use. When medical faculties were excluded from the university and the Medical Academy, now Medical University, was established, the building became its property. Above the main entrance, the inscription Collegium Anatomicum has been placed in place of the former inscription Res Sacra Miser, mercy is a sacred thing. The facade of this magnificent edifice is varied. Brick is combined with plastered elements, each story looks different, and neo-Romanesque elements such as rosette in the entrance portal or double arcaded windows called biforias. This is why you can easily recognize him in one of the scenes of the series directed by Jan P. Matuszyński, The King from 2020. The year is 1937, and the spectre of fascism hangs over Europe. Warsaw is shaken by a Jewish gang led by a Polish socialist and old PPS man Jan Kum Kaplica, played by Arkadiusz Jakubik. His right-hand man and wetwork guy is a Jewish boxer, Jakub Szapiro, played by Michał Żurawski. As a result of intrigue, the murder of a Polish war veteran is attributed to Kaplica, and a detachment of Polish nationalists headed by Żwirski, played by Bobik, feels justified in pogrom of the Jewish population, with Kaplica's gang members being the first targets. Unaware of anything, the gang leader shows up in a great mood at Sobeński's favorite pastry shop, as he does every morning. Sobeński places a newspaper in front of him where the front page features an article about a murder that has been attributed to him. Kum, realizing in an instant that he has been betrayed and what the consequences of being accused of this murder entail, becomes enraged. When he tries to leave the pastry shop, it turns out that the nationalists are already at his door. A chase and the shootout begins in the streets of Warsaw, or in fact on the streets of Łódź, as much of the series was filmed here. Kaplica runs down Żeromskiego Street. In the background we can see Pruchnik Street, which closes the perspective, and later, thanks to the magic of cinema and the art of montage, he gets to a completely different place. In the courtyard, at the back of the Collegium Anatomicum, we can see in the background this characteristic building, difficult to mistake for any other. Jakub Szapiro drives impetuously in a black limousine. He tries to rescue Kaplica and the other members of the gang from trouble. Kaplica runs out of one of the buildings at the back of Anatomicum College. He runs towards the car, but before he can get into it, he is shot in the arm by Żwirski. This fatal wound and the events that follow are the beginning of the end of Kum power in the city, and the empire he has built turns out to be colossus on legs of clay. The 8-episode series is based on Szczepan Twardoch's best-selling book The King. Twardoch accompanied the creators of the series to the very end and co-authored the script alongside Dana Łukasińska and Łukasz M. Maciejewski. The book is dense with plots, full of colorful characters, with a dark gangster's history, so it was almost certain that sooner or later it would be translated into film. The main characters have their real-life prototypes. Among the characters are also authentic figures taken straight out of the history in the interwar period, such as Prime Minister Felicjan Sławoj-Składkowski, played by Adam Ferency, or Marshal Edward Rydz-Śmigły, Andrzej Szeremeta. Undoubtedly, one of the main characters is the city itself, interwar Warsaw, divided on many different levels, ethnically, politically, socially. A city that is brutal, full of contradictions and dangers. A city that loves and hates, elevates to the top and throws down into the gutter. Let's take a look at the cast, because this one is truly superb. Clearly drawn, strong characters are enriched by the personalities of the actors playing them. Arkadiusz Jakubik, playing the role of Kum Kaplica, said that he was offered the role at the stage when their script was not yet ready. Although the executive producers on behalf of Aurum Film, Leszek Bodzak and Aneta Hikinbotham, convinced the actor that this would be the greatest serial production, the actor remained skeptical. But after reading the book, he accepted the role right away, without reading the script. Michał Żurawski, playing the role of Jakub Szapiro, was equally fascinated by the novel. Already in the trailer you could hear his words. "Nobody gave me anything, I took everything myself." Kum calls him son, and in the city they bow down to him. He is a magnet for women. The most important seems to be his life partner Emilia, mother of 2 sons. A progressive modern Jewess, playing by Aleksandra Pisula, she turns a blind eye to Jakub's activities and his nightlife. His new love, Anna Ziembińska, played by Lena Góra, wants Jakub for herself. He is to her like a savior, a trophy, and an elaborate revenge on her own family, all in one. And there is Rywka Kij, played by Magdalena Boczarska, always present, though in different roles. For each of these women, Szapiro has a different face. During the meeting accompanying the premiere, the actors emphasized that thanks to the enormous amount of work that went into every detail of the set, costumes and props, it was much easier for them to feel the spirit of the era and embody their roles. Dresses and costumes were imported from Berlin warehouses. The cinematographer is Kacper Fertacz, and the visual sphere is complemented by Atanas Walkow's hypnotic music built around motifs from Jewish culture. The series director Jan P. Matuszyński said in an interview with Culture.pl, "Someone once said that my film The Last Family is an epic film shot in interiors. In The King, I wanted to achieve the opposite effect. I believe that despite its epic nature, The King should be an intimate story. Intimate, though focused on the fates of many characters." And indeed, although most of the plot consists of gangster and political showdowns, The King is a story about memory, conscience and melancholy, and how much we are willing to sacrifice for our own ambition.